Adidas' time in the NHL is over, and even though they did make some really nice jerseys, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, so today we are going to be going over every single team's worst jersey in the Adidas era. The other day we did take a look at every single team's best jersey in the Adidas era. If you guys missed that and want to watch it, I'll leave a link in the cards up above, but today we're just doing the opposite of that. Now I will say with actually a decent amount of these teams, I did kind of have a hard time choosing what was their worst jersey, because at worst I think a lot of them had mid jerseys. Like I don't really think that, probably around I would say maybe 10 of these teams I would say just had a okay jersey as their worst jersey. So it's not like I hate every single jersey in this list, but I do hate some of them. So before we do jump into it here, if you guys are new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All right, we're going to start off with the Anaheim Ducks, of course. I have their 2017 to 2024 home jersey. Now, this is kind of the easy one, right? I think most people would probably pick this as the Ducks' worst jersey in the Adidas era, and I don't think I hate it as much as most people. I don't think the Duckfoot is really as bad as a lot of people say. I think most people just hate it because it's coming after the Mighty Duck logo, and now it's going to be sandwiched in between two different Mighty Duck logos. So I do think it looks bad compared to those two, but just as a logo itself, I don't think it's that terrible of a logo. I think it's fine. Probably works better as a shoulder patch like it is going to be on their new jerseys, so I think that was probably a smart idea. The biggest issue that I really have with this jersey is the side stripes. I really do not like the side stripes. I don't think they look very good. I think it leaves the bottom of the jersey feeling pretty bland, and you know, the side stripes kind of get hidden because of the arms most of the time, so yeah, don't really like that aspect of this jersey. The colors are fine, but yeah, it was kind of the easy one for the Ducks, I would say. Next up is the Arizona Coyotes, and I have their 2022 to 2024 third jersey. This jersey has actually grown on me a decent amount. I was not really a huge fan of it when it was first revealed, but I kind of have liked it more and more. But I just think the Arizona Coyotes jerseys are really nice. Like even their ones with the Howling Coyote, I do like those quite a bit. So this is why this one has kind of fallen down into that last place, into the worst one for the Coyotes in the Adidas era. I still just don't like word mark jerseys. It's really kind of the main thing for me, but this is a pretty decent word mark jersey, especially with the assistant captain's patch, or the alternate captain's patch, I should say, because of just the way that it's done. It's really, really fun. It's like two cacti going up against each other. My two big gripes with this jersey actually comes down to the striping, and it's not because I don't like the striping. Like the pattern is pretty cool, but the reason that I don't like it is because one, the way that it's produced, you can really see how dark the background of the striping pattern is. It's a much darker burgundy than the rest of the jersey, and it doesn't really feel like it's intentional. Like it feels like it's just because it is a different material, so they couldn't really color match it very well. So I don't like that aspect. I'm also not a fan of the striping, once again, on the side there. I don't like the fact that it kind of comes up along the side. I don't think that it looks good, especially in the cross section there of where it connects from just the horizontal to the vertical. I don't think that looks good at all. Like I'm really disappointed with that. So those are my two really big gripes with this jersey, but I still think it's not a bad looking jersey, especially in uniform. The saddest part about losing the Coyotes is definitely losing all of their jerseys, because they had some really good ones. Now on to the Boston Bruins, or should I say the Boston Blands. We have their 2019 to 2023 third jersey. I didn't like that I said that. Yeah, with this one here, it's just a very bland looking jersey. It just has that B. There's nothing special about it. The striping is pretty basic. There's not really a ton going on with this jersey. I wouldn't say this is a horrible looking jersey, but yeah, it's just very boring to me. And most of the time, I would rather you have an ugly looking jersey than a boring one, because at least the ugly one is interesting. With this one here, don't really have a ton to talk about it because, yeah, just very meh. On to the Buffalo Sabres. We have their 2017 to 2020 home jersey. I am glad that they got away from these things, because I do not like them. I'm not a fan of those front numbers. I don't think the Buffalo Sabres look particularly good in navy blue. I think they look much better in their royal blue that they wear right now. And also, once someone pointed out that the collar kind of looks like a dead fish, like the gray part, it kind of looks like a dead fish with the laces there as well. I can't get that out of my head. It's all I see with this jersey. It's not good. It is not a very good looking jersey. The striping is fine. Like that aspect is okay, but I just do not like these things. So I'm very glad that the Buffalo Sabres went in a different direction, even if that direction is just basically going back to their inaugural season jerseys. Then with the Calgary Flames, it's very similar to the Buffalo Sabres. I have their 2017 to 2020 home jersey. And of course, after these jerseys, they did kind of go back to their inaugural season jerseys. With these jerseys though, I was even more excited that the Flames went away from them, because, you know, I am a partial Flames fan. They are my second favorite team, and I hated these jerseys the entire time that they wore them. I just do not like them whatsoever. Once again, it has those kind of, you know, torso side stripes there, which I don't like. It also has flags on the shoulders, and I've never really liked flags on the shoulders with jerseys, especially with the Calgary Flames here, because they have a Canadian flag on one shoulder, they're not the only team in Canada, and they have the Alberta flag on the other shoulder, which they're also not the only team in Alberta. So I've never really liked that. I mean, I don't like flags on shoulders in general. I don't know why. It's just something that I don't really like. Like, I'm fine, obviously, when it's like, you know, the international tournaments and everything like that. But when it's the NHL, it just comes off as very odd to me. So yeah, I never liked that aspect of this jersey. The colors on this jersey also feel really dull to me. So yeah, really do not like this jersey. Not a fan of it whatsoever. Next up, we have the Carolina Hurricanes. I have their 2019 to 2024 away jersey. Yeah, this one is kind of one of the things that I really don't like about jerseys, and that is A, word mark jerseys, which we've already talked about, B, diagonal word mark jerseys, which we'll get to maybe a little bit later on, and C, nickname word mark jerseys, where it has canes, it has bolts, hint for later on as well, sends, those types of jerseys I really do not like, and this is one of them. I do not like this jersey whatsoever. There are two aspects of this jersey that I think are pretty nice. Well, kind of three. The colors do look nice, I will say that. If this jersey did actually have a logo on it, I probably would like it a decent amount. I do like that C, though. The C is pretty cool, where it has the double flag there. That is nice, and I like these stripes at the bottom there. But yeah, it's just the canes. The canes really pulls this one down for me, like super, super hard. Their other away jersey I also thought about using as the worst, but this one here took the cake just because I don't like canes. Not a fan of it. As for the Chicago Blackhawks, shocker here, I have the Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey. I think 99.9% of people are going to have this as the worst Blackhawks jersey in the Adidas era. It is not very good. It's not great whatsoever. I had someone comment on my video, on my previous video, saying if this one was the worst out of the Adidas era. I don't think so, and I think it's kind of just like a little bit of a biased take, honestly. Well, it is a little bit of a biased take, and that jersey, of course, is on this list, and I'll talk about that when we get there. This one for me, though, yeah, it's not a very good-looking jersey. Don't like the stripes. They're too wild. They're too random. I don't think that looks very good. Once again, don't like the word mark there. It's also a very bland word mark too. Like, there's no real spice to it. At least with the Arizona Coyotes and the Hurricanes, you know, those had a little bit of like flavor to those word marks. This one here, it's very plain, and I know that it is based off of like that Chicago sign that's in Chicago, like I think like the theater, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's based off that, and I think that has like kind of just basic font. But yeah, it just doesn't look good to me, so I'm not really a huge fan of it. Next, we're on to the Colorado Avalanche, and I have their 2020 Stadium Series jersey. So the jersey that I'm wearing right here. Now, why do I have this jersey if I think it's the Avalanche's worst in the Adidas era? It's honestly because I still kind of like it. Like, it's not a very good looking jersey. I can admit that, that is for sure. But it's also very interesting and really fun. Just the massive A on this jersey is something else. Like, it looks like a dinner bib. It's really, really stupid. On top of that as well, like, one thing that I do like is the fact that the white does actually go all the way around to the back. I think that is actually a good design. I'm happy about that. The only real thing that I actually dislike about this jersey is the mountains on the front. So like this aspect right here, I really do not like that part on this jersey because you can really tell that it is a different material. It's a much darker burgundy than the rest of the jersey at the bottom there. And my only reason to think that they did that is because they wanted to have like an actual logo on the jersey. They didn't want it to be fully sublimated like the Wild Wing with the Reverse Retro 1.0 for the Anaheim Ducks. And I think if they went that direction, if it was just fully sublimated, I would not really have an issue with that whatsoever. I think that would be completely fine because yeah, the mountains on this jersey, like it's not a lot of it. Like, it's a very small aspect of this jersey, but you can really see it in person, especially just the difference in the shade of burgundy. It does not look good whatsoever. It looks really, really strange. So that's my biggest flaw, I would say, with this jersey. The rest of it, I like, but like I said, it's not a good looking jersey. It is stupid. It doesn't actually look good, but it's just fun to me. Now we're on to the Columbus Blue Jackets, though, and I have their 2017 to 2024 home jersey. Not a fan of this one. I was really hoping that Columbus would do a rebrand at some point, especially during the Adidas era. Of course, they never did so. So hopefully, during the Fanatics era, they end up changing their jerseys even just a little bit. You know, obviously, I would like the Cannon to be their full-time jersey, but yeah, this one right here, like, it's fine. I actually like their away a decent amount more than their home. Their home is really lacking to me. Like, it just is so bland. It's so boring. The logo itself does look a little bit better in person, I will say that. But realistically, I still prefer their inaugural season logo. I think that's a lot better. Or just the Canon logo also. I think that is also a better logo. Yeah, it just really does not do a whole lot for me. I do not like this jersey here. It's just, once again, another kind of boring jersey that really needs to be changed. With the next two jerseys, we have a little bit of a theme between them because with the first one, I have the Dallas Stars and their Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey. This is just a very disappointing jersey because, of course, everybody loves the star jersey. Like, that is one of the best jerseys, I think, in NHL history, honestly. Like, it's up there for sure, and it's obviously the best Dallas Stars jersey, and with this one here, I think it's really lacking, honestly. Apparently, it does look better in person. I've not seen it, but, like, the logo itself, I think, stands out a little bit better in person, but just looking at pictures, it blends in way too much. It's really hard to read stars in general, and just the fact that it's an all-white jersey with just a little bit of the striping in the outline of the star, it is just not enough to really make it feel like something. It almost makes it feel like it's a practice jersey, like they kind of got halfway done with the jersey, they half-baked it, and just it wasn't really quite done yet, and they just had to rush it out and was like, well, this is what we have, so here you guys go. Yeah, it just feels that way to me. It's really disappointing because, yeah, I love that Stars jersey, a jersey that they are trying to throw back to, but this is just a massive disappointment, at least to myself. As for the Detroit Red Wings, like I said, a little bit of a theme because I have the Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey, and this one really feels like a practice jersey. They did not care about making this thing whatsoever. They put zero effort into this thing, which is kind of funny, of course, because in that previous video, I had the Wings Reverse Retro 2.0 as my favorite jersey of theirs. So yeah, I think their Reverse Retro series are like basically night and day, and this Reverse Retro 1.0 is not good at all. Like, it's maybe slightly cool just because of the red numbers. I think the numbers really do help this jersey out a lot, but that's me just trying to reach. Like, honestly, that's me reaching pretty hard. Yeah, it's a very bland looking jersey, man. Then we have the Edmonton Oilers. I have their 2019 to 2024 third jersey. Yeah, this one I was never a huge fan of. I actually really don't like this jersey whatsoever. Not a fan of the two-tone. Not a fan of both of those colors either. I don't think they really look that great together, at least just with those two colors. If you implement a third one, maybe it looks a little bit better, but just those two on its own, I don't think it looks very good. Yeah, never have been a huge fan of two-tone jerseys, and this one here is a massive, massive miss for me. I really do not like this thing. Then with the Florida Panthers, I have one that's probably going to shock a lot of people. I have the Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey. Now, before you get crazy at me, before you start yelling at me, I don't think that this is an actual bad-looking jersey. Like, the Florida Panthers don't have a bad-looking jersey. Honestly, all of them are pretty good. This one here, I don't know what it is. Like, people really love this jersey, and I want to as well, but I just can't really quite get there. I honestly do not know why. Like, I feel like I really should like those colors because I love baby blue, but for some reason, it just feels a little off to me. I also really like the detail inside of the sun, like the little triangles, the way that they're actually made is super sick. Like, there's a lot of parts of this jersey that I like, the logo as well, but I don't know. I'm not quite too sure what it is, but I just don't tend to like it as much as other people, which really upsets me. I would love to. Actually, it's probably a good thing that I don't like this jersey as much as other people because trying to get this jersey now is very expensive. It's not very easy. So maybe it is a good thing that I don't like it as much as everybody else seems to. But yeah, like I said, it's not like this is a bad looking jersey for the Panthers. It's just not really for me. So yeah, the Florida Panthers don't have a bad looking jersey in the Adidas era. Moving along, we have the LA Kings, and I have their 2017 to 2021 home jerseys. Now, the 2021 date is very specific because that is when the prime green jerseys kicked in, and with that as well, the LA Kings added silver onto their jerseys instead of the gray, and that silver included the sparkle as well, and I think that sparkle is a huge improvement on these jerseys. I think, just the gray itself, these jerseys are very boring, they're very bland. Looking at this one here, glad that they changed it, that is for sure, but with that extra sparkle, with that added kind of little pizzazz to it, I do think it is a massive improvement, and I kind of ended up liking those jerseys towards the end of the Adidas era because of that sparkle. Like, really, I honestly think it goes a massive way to improve those jerseys. In the end, I'm still glad that the Kings rebranded, though, of course, with this logo here. I do think that it is the Kings' worst logo. It's not horrible by any means, but it's just boring, which is really kind of the main thing with these jerseys here, is that they were very, very boring until that sparkle took over. So that is why it is only from the 2017 to 2021 seasons. Next up is the Minnesota Wild. I have their 2022 Winter Classic jersey. This one here, I'm honestly kind of disappointed in myself because I really thought that this jersey would not sell very well and I would be able to get it on sale, and that wasn't really the case. This jersey, I don't know if it sold out very quickly, but I guess I just didn't pay enough attention to it, and it ended up selling out, and now these jerseys are very expensive, and I want this jersey because it's really, really ugly, man. I don't think it looks good at all. I don't like that logo. I don't think it looks very good. Like, the M, please, I get it's abbreviation, but it just is funny. Like, I don't know, like it's very, very weird. The stripe up top there on the chest, what is going on there? Why did they decide to do that? I really don't get it. And the fact that they actually added like the elbow pads there on the back of the jersey is awesome. I love that. It looks so terrible. It does not look good whatsoever. I don't know why they decided to do that, but I love it. It is such a choice. It is such a decision. It's not a good looking jersey. This one is really, really bad looking jersey, and man, do I want it so bad. Like I said, I really wish that I bought it when it was actually available, because now it goes for like $300 or $400. Like, it's way more expensive than I would want to spend on this jersey. But yeah, it is a special one for Minnesota, I'll say that. Moving on to the Montreal Canadiens, I have the Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey. Now, I've talked about before where I'm not really a massive fan of the Montreal jerseys, just because I think they're a little bit stale at this point. I want for them to change because they've had the same jerseys for a very long time, but I also understand them not changing it because A, they're classic, and B, they're not bad looking jerseys, right? Like with the Canadiens, I don't think they do have a bad looking jersey. Even with this one right here, it's not bad. It's just a little bit strange because it's blue, and the Montreal Canadiens haven't really had a blue jersey since, basically, what was it, 1909 with the blue C. Like, it's been a very long time, and I'm fine with teams kind of going outside of their comfort zone and using different colors. I don't really think that is that big of a deal. So, like, realistically, I do think that this is a fine looking jersey, and honestly, not that bad, but it just ends up being the worst because the Canadiens jerseys are kind of just right there in the middle where they don't really have a bad jersey, but I don't think any of their jerseys are that nice either. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators. I have their 2022 Stadium Series jersey, the Smashville jersey. Oh boy, with this one here, like, this is sort of like the Minnesota Wild one where it is so bad, man. Like, this is an awful looking jersey, and I also kind of want it, but I don't at the same time. Like, the fact that Smashville on the front is so funny to me. Like, I actually really do like that, and it's weird because it is a nickname, right? Like, Smashville is obviously a nickname, but it's not quite in the same sense of like the Canes or like the Sens or anything like that, or the Caps. It's not quite the exact same as those ones. It's just very, very strange. But the thing that I really don't like about the Smashville is the fact that it's, kind of different sizing for each of the letters there. Like, sometimes it's squished, sometimes it's super stretched, like that E is wide, man. It is E. Like, it is a big E, man. And the letters are also spilling outside of the yellow onto the navy, which I all don't like, but I also love because it looks terrible. Like, it does not look good. It's not a good looking jersey, but I also kind of want it, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's something else. I do like the guitar pick in the middle there. I think that is actually, like, I wouldn't mind if Nashville used that guitar pick a little bit more as like a main logo. I think that would be fine. But yeah, this Nashville jersey, it's a jersey. It is a jersey. And let's continue on with another jersey with the New Jersey Devils 2017 to 2024 home jersey. A lot of jersey in a short amount of time. Yeah, this one is just bland, right? Like honestly, the biggest flaw with this one here is that there's no waist stripe. That is really my biggest flaw with these jerseys for the Devils here. The rest of it, like, I like the shoulder yoke there. The striping on the arm's not bad. Like that logo, of course. I think the logo is really nice. I love the Devils logo. I've always have. I talked about it in my previous video, once again, where I've never really loved the Devils in just black and red. I much prefer when they have, the green and red. I think that is just a lot of fun. I love the kind of Christmas colors for the New Jersey Devils. Obviously, it fits like the Devils theme a little bit better with the black and red. Like, I understand that. But yeah, I've always just kind of preferred the green. I don't really know why. This one here, though, yeah, it's just a little bit of a boring jersey. Once again, the Devils haven't really had a very bad looking jersey in the Adidas era, so this one just ends up being the worst because it is a little bit bland. Now, with the New York Islanders, I have the Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey, so the Fisherman. Now, you might be thinking, okay, you just don't like the Fisherman then? No, that's not the case. I love the Fisherman. I have it right behind me. I am stoked that the Fisherman came back, or at least when I heard that it was coming back. However, when we got this, I was so disappointed, and as time goes on, I hate it more and more and more. This is my least favorite jersey in the Adidas era. I hate it. I hate everything about it because it basically takes the Fisherman jersey and just rips everything that was fun away from it and takes it out, and it's just, here is a bland, boring, terrible jersey of the Fisherman. It's just basically, I've talked about it before, where it feels like basically those Disney remakes where they are trying to mimic the original feel of the original movies with all that fun, with all that life, but they are just not the same. It's just a bland corporate remake that just strips the life of the original and leaves us with a corpse. And I kind of mean that literally, because if you take a look at this Reverse Retro 2.0 logo, the fisherman on it is gray. He was not gray on the original jersey, he was orange. So it actually felt like he had some life, and now he looks like he's dead. So, like, I literally mean, like, they stripped the life away from this jersey. They removed all of the waves, which is, like, one of my favorite aspects of the original jersey. It's so fun. And they gave us just a really terrible diagonal stripe that just doesn't really look that great. There's no teal on this jersey outside of just a little bit in the logo, and it's just not enough. It's awful, it's terrible, and it's the same thing with the customization, where on the original, the letters and numbers flowed with the waves. They looked great. On here, it's a straight across name bar. The numbers at the bottom have a slight curve to it to kind of go with the striping there, but yeah, it's very, very minimal. It really does not look good. And just another thing that makes the jersey look worse as well is that the striping doesn't really line up very well on the right side of the jersey. It is just all horrible. I hate this thing so much. I wish that it never came back, and I blame Lou Lamoriello for this, because I'm sure that he was, like, basically forced to do a Reverse Retro Fisherman jersey. I'm sure that he was, and he did not want to do it, and I really believe that he was just like, fine, you want a Reverse Retro Fisherman jersey? I'm going to do the blandest, lamest, just lifeless fisherman jersey you can possibly think of, and this is what we got. I hate this thing. Anyways, though, we're now on to the New York Rangers, and I have their 2017 to 2024 home jersey. This is another one where I don't think the Rangers particularly have a bad looking jersey. I'm not really a massive fan of the Rangers word mark. You know, I don't like that aspect of the jersey. The rest of it, though, is pretty nice. It is a classic Rangers jersey, of course. They are another team that really has not changed their jerseys in a very long time, and I would like for them to do so. But, you know, once again, it's not like I want them to change their jerseys because they look bad. It's just because they've had them for so long, and I like change in my jerseys. I like when teams mix it up a little bit. So I'm definitely not as mad about this jersey as I was with the Islanders. Then with the Ottawa Senators, I have their 2017 to 2020 away jersey. Now, it's kind of similar once again to the Buffalo Sabres and the Calgary Flames, where all three of those teams had jerseys that I did not really like, but going into that 2020 offseason, they ended up changing them to basically their inaugural season jerseys. Now, I think the Buffalo Sabres and the Ottawa Senators made slight changes to their inaugural season jerseys, but they're still kind of the same thing, or at least close to them. And with this Ottawa Senators jersey here, yeah, it's just fine. With Ottawa, they're another team where I don't think they have a terrible jersey, but this one is just not that great. Once again, it is those kind of side stripes there, and the stripe underneath the arm is interesting. Like, I almost kind of like it. The fact that, like, the black almost holds that red stripe is kind of cool. So like I said, I don't think this is an awful looking jersey. I don't mind that logo there either. The kind of like 3D logo. I think that is actually a fine looking logo for the Senators, although I do prefer the 2D logo that they have now. I think that one is a little bit better. But yeah, it's a decent looking jersey for the Sens, but still kind of the worst one in my mind. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Flyers. I have their 2019 Stadium Series jersey. This one, yeah, not a fan of it. I kind of talked about it with the Edmonton Oilers, where I don't like those two-tone jerseys, and I'm not a fan of at least this shade of orange. It just, I don't know, it really does not look that great here particularly, and it comes off as very boring to me. This jersey does feel very boring, which we can kind of lead also into the Pittsburgh Penguins, where I have their 2019 Stadium Series jersey. So I have both of the 2019 Stadium Series jerseys on this list here. I did not like that game whatsoever. I don't think it looked very good. Now, the one positive I will say with that game is that it was kind of like two dark jerseys going up against each other. Obviously, the black and the orange. I think that is really cool. I really like that aspect. I wish the NHL did that more often, because that is a lot of fun. That being said, I just don't think either jersey works that well. The Penguins one is a little bit better. I think that one is a little bit nicer, but it's still not really that great in my opinion. The St. Louis Blues are next, and I have the Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey. Yeah, this one here for me just doesn't really quite work. Like, I think the original jersey is really fun, and I like it in its original colors, but reversed, I don't know. It just doesn't really work for me. Maybe it just comes down to the fact that it's a team called the Blues wearing a red jersey, which I know is kind of stupid, and the Blue Jackets also did that with their Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey. They had a red jersey. Was that for the Reverse Retro 1.0? Yeah, I think that was. Not their 2.0. No, definitely the 1.0. Anyways, yeah, the Blue Jackets kind of did the same thing as well, right? Of course, but yeah, this one here, like, I don't think it's terrible, but this one here, it just doesn't really work in its reverse colors. Like, it's already kind of a crazy jersey, so when it's red as the main color, I think it's just a little bit too much. It kind of jumps the shark, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's at this point, it just does not look that great for me. I much prefer it in its original color pattern. Now let's jump to the Sharks, as we have the San Jose Sharks, and for them, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm deciding right now what jersey I want to pick because I honestly don't know. The Sharks, I think, all have really nice looking jerseys. I guess I'm going to go with their 2017 to, I think it would have been like their 2022, I believe. We'll do their away jersey. Yeah, I think we'll go with the away jersey. Honestly, as you guys can tell here, I really have a hard time choosing for the San Jose Sharks. Like, realistically, I think all their jerseys are pretty nice. With these ones here, like their 2017 to 2022 home and away jerseys, those ones are just maybe a little bit slightly boring without that torso stripe. I really like my torso stripes on the jerseys. So yeah, without that being there, or the waist stripe, whatever you want to call it, without anything being there, it does kind of come off as maybe a little bit bland. But yeah, the Sharks have some really nice looking jerseys. Even the Reverse Retro 1.0, I actually kind of like that jersey a decent amount. I don't know, it's something interesting. So yeah, obviously I had a hard time picking for the San Jose Sharks, but I guess we are going to go with that 2017 away jersey. Then with the Seattle Kraken, I have the Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey. This is another team that they don't have a bad looking jersey, right? Like basically all of the jerseys are pretty nice. They've only had 4 of them, but I think they all look good. One thing that I did not like about this jersey when it was initially revealed, but has grown on me a lot, is actually the navy stripe in behind the logo. So I did not like the fact that it only came up to like 75% of the logo. I was like, either go the entire thing or just do like the middle stripe there. Don't go like through 3/4 of it and then stop. I was like, that is very strange. But after a couple of days, I had read someone's comment and they were saying that it kind of looks like the Kraken eye is peeking over some really dark waters. And I was like, okay, thinking about it that way, that is kind of cool. And also on the backside of the jersey, that stripe does also hold the numbers. And I'm like, all right. So I've kind of come around to that. It was the only aspect of the jersey that I didn't really like. But with that comment and with them actually holding the numbers there, I was like, all right, I do kind of like that part of the jersey. That is actually kind of sick. So yeah, like I said, it's a good looking jersey, honestly. The Kraken just don't have any bad jerseys yet. They probably will in the future, and we'll talk about them whenever they come. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I have their 2022 Stadium Series jersey. So I guess it's another outdoor game where I didn't like either of their jerseys. This one here, though, it mostly comes down to the fact that it's just a Bolts jersey. Don't like the nickname, never really liked the nickname. Same thing, of course, with the Canes jersey that we covered earlier. Now, I will say this is the 3rd iteration of the Bolts jerseys for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the best version of the 3, but it's still not really that great. I do think the Lightning Bolt at the bottom is pretty fun, but it doesn't really continue on to the back of the jersey. And speaking of that back, it is super plain, man. There is like nothing going on there unless you have it customized. Customized, it does look a little bit better, of course, but if you have this jersey as a blank, that is just a bland looking back half of the jersey. It just does not really look that great. So yeah, this one here for me, it really does come down to the fact that it just says Bolts. I just don't like that. Never have liked that. Probably never will like nickname jerseys. Moving along, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have the Reverse Retro 1.0 jersey. I do think that this jersey gets hated on a lot more than it really should. I don't think it's terrible, but it's also not that great. Like the gray aspects of this jersey, I think is really what most people don't like about it. I think that it's fine. The things that really bring this one down for me is almost the proportions of this jersey. So like the stripe at the bottom, I think that one is a little bit too thick and the logo is really big. Like it is a massive logo, which is strange because it's not like it's a new logo. This is just the 1967 Leaf, but I think maybe it's the extra added outline that really kind of just makes it feel massive. Not really quite too sure, but yeah, it's those parts of the jersey that I think really do kind of make it come down a little bit. And the gray striping, I think I do like it more than most people, but it still doesn't look fantastic. It's just a very meh jersey for the Maple Leafs, I would say. Then we have the Vancouver Canucks, and I have their 2017 to 2019 home jersey. This one here also kind of comes down to the fact that I don't think Vancouver really has that bad of a jersey. This one, I just have it in last place because of the fact that it has Vancouver above it. Obviously, they're newer jerseys. They got rid of that. It's now just the actual Canuck logo, or the Orca logo, I guess I should say, and it's just a much cleaner version of the jersey itself. So yeah, this one here, it's not a bad jersey, but it's just an outdated version of the jersey, and the new one looks a lot better. Then for the Vegas Golden Knights, I have their 2024 Winter Classic jersey. To me, this was Vegas's first miss with a jersey. I just don't really think it's that great. Like, the main part that I like about Vegas's jerseys is the gold sparkle to them. I love that aspect, and of course they got rid of it with this one here. I understand why they did so. It's because it's supposed to feel like an old school jersey, and you probably wouldn't have that on like very old jerseys. So they basically just kind of tried to replicate that gold without all of the sparkle, but it comes off as just looking like a mustard color, like a little bit of a yellow, and it does not look very good. I also do not like the logo on this jersey. The little kind of like loops and stuff like that of the detail inside of the logo, I think looks weird on the actual logo itself, on the crest itself, on the name and numbers. Well, I guess just the numbers. It's not actually on the name, but on the numbers, I think it is a cool pattern. But for some reason, just with the logo, I don't think it looks as good. And also, I don't like the fact that it is just a V. It's kind of comes off as a little bit bland to me. So I wanted to like this jersey for the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, I do obviously really like the off-white. I always like off-white with my jerseys. I think that's great. But unfortunately, this one did end up falling a little bit flat to me. All right, now we have the Washington Capitals. I have their 2017 to 2024 home jersey. Yeah, this one isn't really much of a shocker, right? I think most people would probably have this jersey or the away jersey as their least favorite in the Adidas era because it's not very good, man. Like, these jerseys, they really needed to move away from them. It's very much like the Columbus Blue Jackets, where they waited way too long to move away from these things, and I don't think that they are going to move away from them until Ovechkin retires, which is a little bit unfortunate. But the only thing that I think is a little bit cool with this jersey is the white stripe underneath the piping. I think that is interesting, but I don't really like the piping a whole lot, and I also really do not like that logo for the Capitals, so they just got to get rid of this whole thing. They got to completely just get rid of it, do something else, maybe go back to the Screaming Eagle or something. But yeah, with these ones here, it's just boring, tired. I would like for them to get rid of them, but we probably have to wait a few more years until they actually do so. And last, and probably least as well, I have the Winnipeg Jets and their RCAF jerseys. I do not like these things whatsoever, man. I don't think that the colors work well together. That baby blue and red just are horrendous. The double chest stripe there is weird. Like, once again, kind of going back to the Minnesota Wild one, like, what are you doing? And the fact that the logo actually goes into one of those stripes as well is just terrible. It's all bad. There's no aspects of the shirt. Well, I do like two aspects of this jersey, actually. The first part is the logo itself is actually felt. I'm just a sucker for felt logos. I always do like that. And also the nameplate on the back kind of covers half of the stripe on the back there. And for some reason, like, just the interruption of that stripe is kind of cool. I like that aspect for some reason, but it's like two minor things on a jersey that I really, really do not like. I think that this is definitely the Jets' worst jersey in their history, like, period. It's not even close. And it's just, yeah, not a very good looking jersey. Honestly, this also might be in like one of the worst jerseys in the Adidas era. I think it's really, really that bad. I know some people do like it, but me, not a fan. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know your guys' in the comments down below. I do still have more Adidas kind of videos to go around here. I'll be doing my top 10 favorite Adidas jerseys and my top 10 least favorite. Maybe I'll expand those lists a little bit into like maybe a top 15 or something like that. I haven't quite made the list, so I don't know if I'm gonna struggle trying to get it down to a top 10. But yeah, if you're interested in that at all and you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow me on all my social medias, all of those good things. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.